we are bringing in Ian Karmel, comedian, hometown hero, Blazer fan. And you come into ravishing Rick Rude, too, so I think that's good.
It's perfect. It's perfect for me. When you got a body like mine, there's no other intro music.
Now, have you guys gone through, have you drafted your top wrestlers on All Fantasy Everything?
We have not. That is one of those, there's a few topics we have that are like in this golden cage where we're just waiting for the right guest to come in and do it.
Yeah, that is one that will be must listen.
Yeah,
that will be a huge hit.
You get Dame on for that one and do the wrestlers?
I would love to get Dame on there.
Yeah.
I would love to get a former wrestler on there. It's just I grew up a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
I was a big Razor Ramon guy.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Back in the
Really?
day, say hello to the bad guy.
You were a heel. You like the heel.
I
huh?
love that dude. I still remember him pulling up the padding next to the ring and doing the Razor's Edge.
Oh yeah,
like on the concrete to people. I love that dude. I remember Lex Luger.
Yeah, not Luther.
Not Luther.
Yeah.
Completely different, non-trademark infringing name, Lex Luger. Pulling the body slam on Yokozuna, man. I loved it. And then weirdly, I fell out right before the NWO stuff.
When it just absolutely exploded.
Yeah. Like I was
the
out,
Attitude Era.
The Attitude Era.
Yeah.
I was out before Stone Cold, but my older brother loved Stone Cold. I got into Star Wars around that era, so I went into a much sadder nerd zone.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think everybody around our age, though, I think that there's
some tangential thing.
Everybody had an addiction to wrestling at some point.
How could you not?
Yeah.
And I see it now, like with my son who's 7.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
It's come.
Yeah.
He is now starting to get into it, just because inherently boys are dumb and we just want to throw our bodies into things. And you see grown men doing it, and you're like, whoa.
I mean, South Park nailed it, where it is a soap opera with a football game happening in the middle of it. You know, it's perfect, dude. Weirdly, it's also. There's something beautifully American about wrestling. I'm about to go on some weird tangent now, but like even in the way it's offensive, it's also kind of progressive in a way where I'm like before there were drag queens, you know what I mean, all over Bravo, like in movies and stuff like that. I remember seeing Gold Dust for the first time.
Dudes wearing makeup.
And like Gold Dust specifically, and just having that normalized for me and just being like, that's a kind of person that there is out there.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Like you think about now, it's the ugly side of this is Vince McMahon having to step aside because of stuff. But he was pushing Tori Wilson, who's one of their more stunning wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
Remember that was the big shock, is when she kissed another woman on TV.
Right.
Like,
which I'm sure
she was not thrilled about doing, and she was kind of forced into because of her contract. Like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly progressive, but doing things maybe the wrong way.
In an evil way. Progressively
evil.
Way. But when you look at Vince McMahon, somebody who dyes their mustache like that, that's an evil man.
I was going to say,
that's an evil man thing to do.
Quite literally twisting his mustache as he's coming up with these plot lines.
Also, so much HGH.
So my God.
So much HGH.
More HGH than man at this point.
Yeah.
His body probably looks like cheap pork. You know what I mean? If you were to slice into him.
Which might be one of the greatest and saddest reasons why, as kids, we only had wrestling like once or twice when we were growing up here, because they mandated steroid testing in the WWF. WWF was like, we're not going. We're just not going to come anymore.
Exclusively high flyers. You know, it's like Rey Mysterio fights Rey Mysterio's training partner live at the Memorial Coliseum.
They just said, if we can't have that, we're not even going to come.
It actually was that too, because as soon as the band came down for it, woof!
Oh, yeah.
Monday Night Raw, Memorial Coliseum. You're
just
like
wet muscles.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay.
That's also when I started doing stand-up, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Was when the steroid
band came down.
I was like, finally.
And then you're like, I'm in. I can finally start performing now.
Yeah.
You do have a special coming up, which is a really cool thing for any comedian to have, but to do it in your hometown, I think that probably means a little bit more for you with what's coming up, March 23rd at Revolution Hall.
March 23rd, Revolution Hall. First show sold out, but we added a second show, and there's still tickets to the second show if you're trying to go. But yeah, I was talking to the label, and we were looking at a bunch of cities. We were thinking about like Nashville or Madison or like New York or LA, Austin, which are all like wonderful cities that I love performing.
Everybody seems to be going to Nashville to do these. Are the shows just like set up really well there?
I think there's like, I mean, they're like from Tennessee and from Nashville, so they're like they're drinking and they're fun and they're crazy. You know what I mean?
Okay, so the crowd's always on.
I think you listed the drunkest cities in America.
Yeah,
Madison,
right.
Yeah, Madison definitely in that.
Madison. I mean, I could just name every city in Wisconsin. Every time you look at that list, it's like Milwaukee, Madison, Eau Claire. Like it's every single city in Wisconsin. But there are also people who go out. They go see live shows. So it's like the kind of place where even if you don't have a big draw there, they're like, we'll go see the comedy show.
Sure.
But for me, like once I started like looking at the material I was doing, I was like, oh, this is all, you know, when I first started conceiving of the special, I was like, let me do a greatest hits because I haven't put out an album or a special in like a decade. And then I started like putting it together and writing more. And I was like, oh, you know what? That's not what I care about right now. Let me just like, I'm writing about getting older. And like, and what that feels like, starting to feel like more conservative as I get older, where like the kid, like I don't know if that's happening to me or if the kids are just going so far left so fast that I'm like,
yes,
I got both are happening. I got yelled at a dinner party for saying the word unhoused, like yelled at, dressed, or saying the word homeless, like dressed down in front of all these people. She was like, it's unhoused, like just like jumped on me.
And your eyebrow twitched.
My eyebrow twitched. I was like marching in protests. You know what I mean? Like 5-10 years ago, I was like a full-blown communist, and now I'm getting like yelled at a dinner party. I'm like, you're eating feta and like orecchiette pasta too. All right, you're not Che Guevara. You're also here talking about shows that are only on HBO, a more expensive version of cable. So don't get on me. But anyway, so like I was like, this.
Also,
is
it's not conflict-free food that you're eating right now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. A lot of conflict had to happen for you to get this. That almond milk that you're drinking costs like 165 gallons of water. So like, lay off.
Let's chill.
Mine is one cow, pumped full of hormones, like a WWE wrestler.
Like a good true American.
Like a good Lex Luger.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I care more about this stuff. I'm gonna abandon the greatest hits. So I haven't done this hour in Portland. It's my favorite place on the planet to do stand-up comedy. I think like we have this reputation nationally for first of all being a burnt-out husk full of Antifa super soldiers. You know what I mean? Yeah. Pulling hand crochet guns on people.
It would be kind of cool if we did have like Winter Soldier.
It would be amazing if there weren't, just marching around.
Like, you have to play a little game like, do I take that route today?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to run into the Brute Squad. Instead, people think like it's dangerous to be here. It's mostly dangerous to merge in traffic. That's like the worst thing that happens in Portland. But this is like my people here aren't as uptight as people think. There's definitely a contingent of people who are like a little bit overly woke to the point that it's annoying. But for the most part, people are smart, down to earth, salt of the earth, like people with good senses of humor. This is the city that raised me. Beaverton is the city where I was unincorporated Washington County.
There we go.
Beaverton, Oregon.
So we had Gulliver in here, and he was getting triple teamed by 3 Beaverton High guys.
Yeah, Beaverton High guys.
Oh, okay.
I was just sitting over here being like, I'm technically from Hillsboro, where, you guys just took a dump on us, like, in everything.
Westview is in Portland, but I grew up with a Beaverton address, so I come by it honestly.
Oh, so you're on the south side.
I'm on the side. I'm loyal to the soil.
There you go.
Somerset Meadows, if we want to get real specific.
Oh, I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah. I'm in there.
My kids play Somerset West soccer.
That's right. Yeah, I bet they win actually pretty handily. If the kids are anything like the ones I grew up with.
Same uniforms as they had back then. It's just
fantastic.
The exact same ones.
Deadly, full of lead and rayon and all those things. But so man, I was like, if I can do this in Portland, I want to do it in Portland. Revolution Hall is where I performed the last 5 times I've been up here. I love that venue. So it was a no-brainer to me. And also this is the only place where people will pay to come see me do stand-up comedy. Yeah.
That's I feel like that matters.
That's the other part of it. Yeah.
How much thinking outside of I was thinking about this today. How much do you think about it outside of the actual comedy? Like, you are a comedian.
Yeah.
So you are you're trying to get your material right and be up there for an hour, record your best stuff for an hour. How much of the outside stuff do you have to think about?
As a preface to this, he's trying to induce anxiety.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not true. I just was, as I was talking this out, I was like, I don't want to turn him into a ball of anxiety over this.
Well, what do you mean exactly? Like people showing up, or like what the stage looks like?
Oh, no,
would you like my list?
Things.
Yes, I do.
Here's my list.
Okay, please.
Do you think about room temperature? Because if it's too hot, you'll start sweating. If it's too cold, you're nipping out.
This is why it's good that I'm doing it at Revolution Hall.
Yeah.
I've performed there so many times. times that I know, and I've been lucky enough to sell it out every time I've done it. I know what that room is like when it's completely full.
Yeah.
They always nail the temperature. My nipples are always on point, and if I am nipping out,
good.
I know I have like little covers I can put over.
Okay.
The makeup kit has. I have
pasties.
makeup. I have pasties. I have artificial nipples if I want to nip out and I can't get it up. I've got everything. I'm prepared for every contingent.
Being in Portland, do you have to be conscious of your shoe game when you are doing a special? Because
that is something. The outfit is something that I'm still
working through.
Still working through.
Because outfit is a big one. Because like if you watch Raw or Delirious, Eddie Murphy is in a leather suit.
And it breaks my heart that he did that already, because I want to wear a leather suit, but it's like somebody's gone and done it already.
But you can also pinpoint the exact like month and year that those were filmed based on the type of leather suit he is wearing. So do you want it to be something where it's like, oh, he definitely made that in 2020?
You could tell the exact moment he wore it by carbon dating the cocaine in, in the leather of his jumpsuit. The shoe game is something I keep in mind, but I'm turning 40 in October. You know what I mean? So it's like I've got a garage full of sneakers that I feel like I can't wear anymore because that are a little too flashy for like a 40-year-old white dude who looks like the dad from Bob's Burgers. Like I have a limited range of what I can get away with. So
you're speaking to a man wearing Crocs right now.
Right. Well, okay, but those are like Crocs are like fashionable now.
Yeah, tell my wife that.
All right, I will get her on the horn. We'll call her up. We'll have a Croc fashion intervention. So I'm trying to find the right pair of New Balance. I'm trying to find the right pair of
the right pair of 550s.
Yeah, 550s that are flashy enough, but don't make me look like.
We're not going monotone. Like we're going like earth tones.
We're going some earth tones, some jewel tones, like a little pop of color, and then like pants that flatter, and then like a shirt that like doesn't pull too much attention away from my beautiful face.
See, those are the things that I just wonder about, because comedians, you guys, like comedy is what you do.
Yeah.
But when you go through like a big special, it's so much more because everybody's watching.
Well, you even have to worry about like your outfit compared to what the
background
is, right? Like, so the curtain behind you, if you're wearing a color that looks bad with that, or even worse, blends in with it, then all of a sudden that's something you have to consider. So I'm on like calls right now with the label, with the producers, like.
That's what I was wondering. So you have somebody else producing. You're not producing it.
Yeah. This company called 800 Pound Gorilla, who like they do like Kyle Kinane specials. Yeah. They do a lot of like great stand-up comedy specials. So I'm working with them. But you're on calls like, okay, so they have 3 curtain options. So we need to know your outfit, and I don't know my outfit yet. So I'm here in Portland, sales tax free, trying to figure out what that is.
That's right.
Yeah, right now.
You're getting into the employee store. You're going to the Columbia employee store. You're just going to all of them and just getting the lay of the land.
In there,
right
trying to say like, hey, if you sponsor my outfit, upwards of 60 people will see me wearing this. You know what I mean? Please, like, get behind me. We can work on a sponsorship opportunity.
I love it. Well, that is March 23rd, where you have 2 shows now.
That's right. Yeah.
And that is the special that is a decade. It's been a decade since you put out an album.
A decade. I put out this one called 9.2 on Pitchfork that I did at Mississippi Studios for like a decade ago. So this is my first one since then. Yeah. I've been in the lab writing late night for too long. I'm ready to get out there and do my own thing now.
And then you also have a book coming out.
I do.